Living Local Carolina with Katie Turner. Local trends, shopping, dining, and more. This is Living Local Carolina.
This story is sponsored by Mr. Sparky.
Well, welcome back to Living Local Carolina. I'm Katie Turner, and today in the studio we have Tony Zach yet again. How are you, Tony?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me again. It's good to be here.
Of course. We're talking about generators today.
Yes, we are.
You're the generator expert, I would say.
Well, I've been accused of being that, so yeah. I'm excited to talk about them. It's something that I love. I've always just had a great interest in them, so.
All right, so let's talk about the basics here. Why should somebody watching right now want to get a generator? What are some of the pros?
Well, you know, it's a peace of mind, right? So you're not running around filling up a gas tank, worrying about if your portable generator is going to start up. This is going to take care of, maybe you're on an oxygen machine and you need to have an outlet for that. Maybe you just don't have the ability to go handle a portable generator, or you're worried about being away because a big storm's coming and you're worried about your freezer, your refrigerator. So the whole house standbys are automatic and you don't have to worry about it. And so that's why you want to get one, for the peace of mind, to not have to check off your list. It's one thing that you don't have to worry about after you have that whole house experience. They're automatic.
I was gonna say, I mean, here in this area, we know how it is to be battling the elements all the time, especially in hurricane season. What is it like for you, talking to customers about why you should get one of these?
Well, and that's the other thing, right? So when they've named a storm off the coast, it's really crunch time. Thankfully, we've already got customers in line who are going to be installing their unit. It's about impossible to say, hey, there's a storm off the coast of Africa, I want one of these. You still have about a 2-week window, but you have to get in line, right? So it's always a good time to go ahead, be prepared, go ahead and get the process started now instead of waiting to see if a storm's going to come this way. And by then, usually it's too late.
Gotcha. And we also have some issues with pests as well, like snakes.
Right. Oh, yeah. Well, you have, even with a whole house standby, you could have issues where people are away from their home. This is going to continue to cool your home down. You're just not going to have to deal with the elements of while you're away. Maybe you went a couple hours away to stay at a hotel. Everything at your house is secure still. Your alarm system's still on. You can still use your garage door opener when you arrive if there's no power. So it's a huge convenience. They often call it the next appliance.
I was going to say too, I bet you'll be the house that everybody wants to come to whenever a storm hits. So you got to be prepared for that.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you've become a good friend of your neighbors, whether that's been the case in the past or not. If you have power, sure.
Hey, I was a Girl Scout, so I know how it is to be prepared.
Yeah, well, good. And that's exactly why you should get a whole house standby. But in talking about a whole house standby, so the portables are a great item for people that don't have the budget for a whole house. We do hear that a lot. Even though we have great financing programs, we do a lot of portable installations, and this is what they call an interlock kit. And so this is what really protects the utility guys who are working on getting power restored, because this shuts your main breaker off and allows for you to have your portable plugged into typically an outlet box. Very easy for somebody to do if that's what they've got to do, right? So you're going to plug your portable generator into that. You're going to use this with your breakers, okay? That prevents anything going back into the utility, which can injure our linemen.
Gotcha.
So a lot of times if they're out restoring power, they're having to look to see what do we got, who's running a generator. This is going to prevent that. We put a lot of these in. If you need help with this, we're happy to.
This story is sponsored by Mr. Sparky.
We'll be back right after this break with more Living Local Carolina.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Living Local Carolina. My goodness, this is my office for today. I'm out here with Coach Goody. What's up? How are you?
You are in my world, yeah. Doesn't it feel awesome? Check it out. What a day. We're going to play some volleyball in the sand, a little beach volleyball. Are you ready?
I am kind of ready. Let's first talk about what you do and how you got all of these volleyball courts.
Yeah, so super exciting. It was 2013, and my daughter, she was like 13 years old, and she was playing indoor volleyball, club volleyball, and she's like, I played beach, and she always would watch Dad go off and play in these tournaments and stuff. And she's like, Dad, I want to learn to play beach volleyball. Can you teach me? And I was like, yeah, that'd be awesome. Let's do it. And I said, well, we had 3 courts down here at the time. I was like, well, why don't we get your teammates, see if anyone else wants to come? And we started a little club, and we had like 20 kids, and we did a couple months of training, and that's how it started.
And it's grown to be pretty darn big now.
It has. It slowly grew, and really COVID, surprisingly, is what helped it grow, because there wasn't a lot of things going on, but we were allowed to do beach volleyball, and I was kind of one of the first sports that kind of went back out and got the kids going. It was a little scary at first, but once everyone got out there, it was so exciting, and it just blew up. And the tournaments, we had more and more people coming here for the tournaments, and since then it's really grown more and more. So
I
it's
love
exciting.
it. And you were saying that this is the kind of sport that's for everybody, you know, all levels, all ages.
Yes.
Why do you think that is?
Yeah, because I mean, everybody kind of, oh yeah, I love volleyball. You know, they remember in PE playing, and maybe they had 4 on one side, or maybe they had 8, right? So it just kind of depends where you're at, whether you're out at a family picnic or whether you're a professional playing 2-on-2. You know, whether you have 10 on one side and 10 on the other, or 2-on-2. So there's a lot of flexibility, and people just want to play and have a good time. Yeah. So it's fun.
Love it. So for people that might be watching this right now and are interested in playing a game or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, how can they do that? Can they get in contact with you?
Yeah.
I mean, what's the deal?
Yeah, so my website is, I have 2 different, you have grandstrandsand.com, so they can reach out there. And then really, you just come out here. These courts are free to use to the public, so just come out and play. You know, you need a ball, you know, call some friends and get out here and play.
Well, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us today on Living Local Carolina. Today, I am joined in studio by Keosha Garrett. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. We're going to talk about what you have been doing, your ministry, Shanavia's Dream Sickle Cell Clinic.
Yes, ma'am. I started a nonprofit this year in memory of my late sister Shanavia, who passed away from sickle cell complications back in 2021. It's been amazing, the amount of people that we were able to reach in Charleston, McClellanville, Georgetown area. It's definitely amazing. So yeah.
You truly hit the ground running when
did.
It comes to all the different things that you've been doing. What do you think is important for the community to know about sickle cell?
The important thing, one of the many important things that I feel that our community should know is that sickle cell is definitely a forgotten about disease. We need more awareness because it affects so many people. I had my 2nd annual blood drive back on Shanavia's birthday, which was June 10th. And I had MUSC to come out to do sickle cell trait testing. And just this morning, I had someone to reach out to me telling me, hey, I got my results and I have the sickle cell trait. And she's about 20 years old and she didn't know. So it's like that gap between the communication from parents over time to their children. Sometimes they forget to let their kids know, hey, you have the trait. Try not to mate with someone else that has the trait, because then their child will have sickle cell, which in my case, that's what happened to my sister, because my mom knew, but my dad, he didn't.
So education is super important.
Education, most definitely, education.
All right, so if people want to stay connected with you along this journey, how can they do that?
Well, definitely, they can follow us on Facebook at Shanavia's Dream Sickle Cell Clinic. Also, they can reach us at shanaviasdream@gmail.com. If they want to inquire about blood drives, they can refer to the Facebook page, and we keep everyone posted there.
Perfect, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll be back right after this break with more Living Local Carolina.
Welcome back to Living Local Carolina. Today I'm joined by Dr. Anthony Thompson. How are you doing?
Doing quite well, Katie, and yourself?
I'm doing wonderful.
First of all, we got the name came from Ephesians, 2nd chapter. Ephesians talks about him dying to bring the two together as one new humanity. And we had an event. Our first event was November the 20th of 2022. The first night we had a revival. And the reason behind the revival is a good story behind that. It was a church on Aston Street. Right now it's St. John Reformed Episcopal Church. But in the 1800s, it was a Presbyterian church. But it was an integrated Presbyterian church. They had like 12 whites, 12 blacks, and about 48 whites. Anyway, he caught a lot of flack behind it. The pastor's name was Gerardo. And he wanted to do something similar to what we're talking about right now. He wanted to unite the city of Charleston. Yeah, so he had a revival, and a three-day revival. And on that third night, it describes him preaching like a shock of electricity with the Holy Spirit, of course. And when that Spirit hit him, it changed everything. Because the very next day, you hear what I'm saying? The very next day, every church in Charleston increased their membership. Every church increased their membership. Yeah, it's a written fact.
That is crazy.
It's a written fact, yeah. And then what happened was, it was like the Spirit hit and just kept on going. As far as on the East Coast, from Charleston all the way to New York, over 1 million people got saved from that revival. And so the next day we went to 7 different landmarks in the city of Charleston. One of the landmarks was the Battery.
White Point Gardens.
White Point Garden. Because that's the place where a lot of brothers fought brothers. Well, like 600,000 soldiers died right there on that spot. So that was a spot of hostility, So we went there to pray, and it was over having slaves. You know what I mean? So we prayed there that God would, change their hearts. You can't change what happened,
Of course.
but He can change the hearts of the people today, so that they will no longer perpetuate the hostility that took place there. Instead of hostility, let's talk about some peace. Then we went from there to Four Corners of Law, the same thing. You're talking about Four Corners of Law where all these beautiful buildings were basically built, you understand, on the backs of slaves.
Yeah.
Free labor, which was an injustice. Then we went to the Exchange Building where, pretty much where the slaves came in at, praying about what happened there. Then we marched to the United States Customs House, of course, where the money came in from the transatlantic slave trade, and the Caribbean barons, who profited off of slavery. And then, of course, we went back to St. John's. Then we marched to Emmanuel, and you know what happened there. Then we marched to Marion Square. That's where we ended the march. Marion Square was the pinnacle point where everybody had the opportunity to express acts of penance, for the next event. Yeah, and so pretty much that's what it consisted of.
Powerful day.
Yeah, powerful day. We had people to join in, with us along the way.
Maybe didn't know that the event was happening.
They don't have no idea.
There you go.
Then I had some friends of mine who actually like watching it on TV, and they came running out there. I mean, like joining in, yeah.
I mean, that.
Who I hadn't seen in years, and taking the flags and things off my heads. I'm trying to figure who are these people. And then I realized people I knew from previous years.
Don't forget to like our page on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. How to use the QR code. Just open the camera app on your smartphone, iPad, or tablet. Point your device at the QR code so the QR code appears on your screen. Your device will recognize the QR code and show you a notification. Click that notification and you'll come to our website. Living Local Carolina, weekday mornings at 9:30 on WBTW News 13.